Yeah, well, I think what you're kind of explaining is like deciding on who it is that you want to be as a person and as a
Mhm.
business owner, as a parent, as a friend, anything, right? Any aspect of your life. But yeah, I can totally identify with that because I feel like this is something that I was kind of faced with over the last couple of years, which is like it really can rear its ugly head in business if you're not careful. And let's be honest, like being able to tell people what they want to hear is a way easier way to go about life in the short term. Because it's like the way I've noticed it for us is like, even if somebody's not going to be a good fit, years ago, I would have still just like taken them on as a client, tried to find a way to make it work, and then it would crash and burn. It's like, why did you take them on as a client? This was never going to work, and then you're dealing with an upset client. And the difficult thing is with not being a people pleaser is even if you tell them and try and tell them the truth and the most helpful thing for them, if it's not what they want to hear, it may still be upsetting for them to hear. Like, hey, I can't help you, and that can really upset people as I've learned. But what
Mhm.
I've found out though is that like I needed to make a decision on who I wanted to be as a person. And did I want to be somebody who was telling people things that were not true just because it was easier in the short term? Or do I want to be somebody that has principles and morals and tells people the truth, even though it may upset them a little bit in the short term? Because I've had people who are so adamant about doing things a certain way, and then I tell them, "Hey, we can't help you if that's going to be the case here." And yeah, they're upset in the short term, but then they come back like a year later and they're like, "I'm willing to do it your way now." And the thing is, if I just let them off the hook and we're just like, "Yeah, we'll figure it out as it goes," and you just kind of do your thing and, we'll see if it works and, I'm sure we can find a way to make it work. Then all that was going to happen is they were going to try and do it their way. It wasn't going to work and we're going to get blamed for their success or lack thereof success. And so to me, what this really boils down to is like, what kind of person do you want to be? And
Mhm.
so what I always think about with this is like, it's going to be very uncomfortable in the beginning saying no to people, places, and things. But at the end of the day, it only gets easier by saying no and being more particular about who you give your time to. I've had to, even with clients, draw boundaries and say, like, hey, I know we used to be able to do this thing where we would be able to meet every single week. I can't really do that in the same capacity that I used to, but that's why I have my client success team. They're wonderful. They're going to be able to help you out. And I know for a fact that, we have had clients that have come and gone because they couldn't get directly to me in the way that they used to be able to get to me back in 2020. I'm still very
Mhm.
involved with our clients, but like I just don't have all the availability to meet with people on a daily basis as I used to. But at the end of the day, it's like you need to decide on what it is that you want out of your life. And, that's a really, I think, big one where like people feel like they need to be the only one in the business. They need to be Superman or Superwoman and, fix all the problems and always be the one to step in to fix the problem and stuff like that. But the problem with that is like you'll never be able to really get beyond a certain point in your business if you're constantly doing the same thing every single day.